I'm Alman Turner, Chair of the Newton County Board of Education. On behalf of my fellow board members, I would like to welcome you to the Newton County School System first ever Educator Hall of Fame reception. Today is the first day of the American Education Week, and I can think of no better way than to celebrate the impact public school teachers and administrators have on the children in their charge than to recognizing two of the most influential, well-known educators in our community. Mr. and Mrs. T.K. Adams, Louise Adams, truly touched the lives of hundreds of students during their career, and we are honored to recognize them as our first inductees into the Newton County School System Educator Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Craig Lockhart, Deputy Superintendent of Newton County Schools, who will explain the process induction into our Educator Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Good evening. The Newton County School System Educator Hall of Fame was established to honor and recognize the outstanding and memorable retired educators who have significantly impacted and made a difference in the lives of their students and whose professional capability and integrity inspire the admiration and respect of not only students, but fellow staff and the community. Nominees for the NCSS Educator Hall of Fame must have maintained exemplary standards of behavior and ethics, exhibited leadership, demonstrated competency in their subject matter, worked well with colleagues and administrators, and encouraged and motivated students, thereby leaving a lasting influence on the Newton County school system. The NCSS Educator Hall of Fame is also a means to honor the teaching profession as a whole for its vital role in shaping the future of individuals and society. Candidates for the NCSS Educator Hall of Fame are selected for induction based on, but not limited to, the following criteria: a minimum of 20 years of service in the Newton County school system as a classroom teacher, administrator, counselor, or media specialist, retired from the district for at least 3 years, proof of quality teaching, evidence of impact or significant contributions to student success, involvement outside the classroom, such as a sponsor or extracurricular activities. All candidates for Educator Hall of Fame are judged on the evidence as demonstrated by their qualifications and letters of support from former students and colleagues. A committee appointed by the superintendent reviews and votes on all nominations. Mr. and Mrs. T.K. and Louise Adams met all the criteria for the nomination. In fact, the committee approved both their nominations by unanimous vote. At this time, I'd like to introduce Newton County School Superintendent Samantha Fury, who will introduce our two candidates and officially induct them into the inaugural NCSS Educator Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon. I'm just so excited about this Educator Hall of Fame piece, and I'm so grateful to Ms. Sherry Davis Vineyard for pulling all of the parts together to create a program that I hope will last well beyond my years as superintendent and long into the history of the Newton County school system. I am so honored to induct Mr. T.K. Adams Sr. and Mrs. Louise Adams into the Newton County School System Educator Hall of Fame this evening. Both Mr. Adams and Mrs. Adams had illustrious careers in the Newton County school system. They touched the lives of hundreds of children and earned the respect of both our students and their colleagues throughout their teaching careers. Since their retirement, they have continued to support our school district and have become icons in Newton County as a result of their tireless support of our community. We will induct them one at a time into our Educator Hall of Fame. Mrs. Louise Bennett Adams earned her Bachelor's of Arts in Elementary Education with a minor in Home Economics from Clark College in Atlanta in 1959. She later earned a Master's of Education as a reading specialist and also administration and supervision from the University of Georgia in Athens. Mrs. Adams had a distinguished career with the Newton County school system. She served as a teacher at Cousins Elementary School and was elected by her peers as the Teacher of the Year. She also taught 7th and 8th grade reading at Old Porter Elementary and was a reading specialist at New Porterdale Elementary before transferring to Cousins Junior High School as a reading teacher. Mrs. Adams was promoted to a school leadership role as an assistant principal at Fickwit Elementary School in 1977. And in 1981, she was appointed principal of the school, a position she held until 1995. Mrs. Adams was elected the Newton County Association of Educators Educator of the Year in 1980 and was a Teacher of the Year finalist in 1983. She retired with 35 years of service to our Newton County school system. Mrs. Adams served in numerous educational organizations, including the Newton County Special Education Advisory Committee, Newton County Association of Educators, the National Association of Educators, the Georgia Association of Educators, the Georgia Association of Elementary School Principals, the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders, and the Newton County Teachers Association. Mrs. Adams did not let retirement slow her down. An active member of Grace United Methodist Church, Mrs. Adams has volunteered her time and served as a member of numerous local organizations and community groups, including the Covington-Newton County Recreation Commission, the Kiwanis Club of Covington, the Literacy Volunteers of Newton County, the Board of Directors of the Newton County Chamber of Commerce, Smart Growth Newton County, the Newton County Board of Health, and the Newton County Community Foundation, and many, many more. Mrs. Adams was presented the Newton County Association of Educators Award in 1982 and the Community Leadership Award in 2007 in recognition for her outstanding support of the Washington Street Community Center. In 2013, Mrs. Adams received the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta Newton Fund Pat Patrick Big Heart Award. Together with her husband, Mrs. Adams received the 2002 Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream Award and the 2001 R.O. Arnold Award from the Newton County Chamber of Commerce. Mrs. Adams was an outstanding educator for the Newton County school system, and she is an even greater friend and supporter of not just our school system, but the entire Covington-Newton County community. It gives me great pleasure to present her with this special award indicating her official induction into the Newton County School System Educator Hall of Fame. Mrs. Adams.
Good afternoon. I was looking at my watch to see if it was evening yet. Thank you, Mrs. Leela Elkins, for nominating us to be the first inductees into the Newton County's Educator Hall of Fame. Thank you, Selection Committee, for choosing us for this prestigious honor. Serving on the Newton County school system as teachers and administrator for me, 35 years, and my husband, 36 years, we've let the work we've done in the school system and still doing in the community speak for us. We've been retired from getting paid for 22 years. God is still blessing me to volunteer on 4 community boards that serve children and adults. And both of us are very active members of Grace United Methodist Church at 3145 Washington Street, here in Covington. Superintendent Samantha Fury, and the Board of Education members, thanks for what you do to support quality education for all students who accept the hard work and nurturing of your teachers, administrators, and support staff. Thanks again for this honor.
Congratulations, Mrs. Adams, on your induction into the Newton County School System's Educator Hall of Fame. Next, I'd like to tell you about Mr. Timothy K. Adams, Sr. Mr. T.K. Adams earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Public School Music from Morris Brown College and his Master's degree in Music Education from Vandercook College of Music in Chicago, Illinois. He served as the band director at Cousins Middle School for 36 years. During his illustrious career, he was elected Teacher of the Year on 4 different occasions. In the summer of 1966, Mr. Adams earned recognition when 10 of his students were awarded a tour of Europe with the School Band and Chorus of America. For more than 25 years, he spent his summers serving as a director of woodwinds at summer camps throughout the state, and even after retirement, he still continually is in demand as a clinician and adjudicator. Mr. Adams was State of Georgia District 10 Music Chairman from 1986 to 1988, and he earned recognition as a finalist for the Newton County Association of Educators Teacher of the Year. Throughout his career, Mr. Adams was a member of numerous education organizations, including the Newton County Association of Educators, the National Association of Educators, the Georgia Association of Educators, and the Georgia Music Educators Association. Just like Mrs. Adams, Mr. Adams did not slow down in retirement. He has served on many local organizations to help support the Newton County community, including the Newton County Community Council, the Board of Directors of the YMCA of Covington, the Arts Association in Newton County, Gaither's Plantation Committee, and the Kiwanis Club of Covington. Mr. T.K. Adams founded the Newton County Community Band in 1993 and served as its director for many years. He is also a very active member of Grace United Methodist Church in Covington. Mr. Adams has received numerous awards over the years, including the Icon Award for Excellence in Education from Springfield Baptist Church and the Living Legend Award from the Newton County branch of the NAACP. The Georgia House of Representatives approved a resolution celebrating Mr. Adams' more than 40 years of contributions to Newton County, the city of Covington, and the area of education. He was presented the key to the city of Covington by the mayor and city council, and the Newton County Board of Commissioners declared July 4th, 2012 as T.K. Adams Day. It gives me great pleasure and privilege to present Mr. Adams with this special award indicating his official induction into the Newton County School System Educator Hall of Fame. Good? I'll hold this for you.
Good evening. Good evening. Do you wonder what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about Mama. I'm thinking about Daddy. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Elkins, for nominating us for this special recognition. Thank you, the selection committee, for wanting us to be the first inducted to do this for us, to receive the first award. When I introduced my master's degree in Chicago, Illinois, from the Vandercook College of Music, one statement of our speaker has been the guiding force of me. They remind me of this. Find yourself a community and build yourself a kingdom. I've done that. We have done that. Build yourself a kingdom. Does everybody understand what that means? Build yourself a kingdom. Find yourself a community and build yourself a kingdom. I interpret that to be not a kingdom of things, but the students we teach. My wife and I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to be here with us this evening. We're happy. We're blessed. We're thankful. We're humble. We thank you so much for this representation, what you're doing for us tonight. We will always remember the rest of our life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Adams, on your induction into the Newton County School System's Educator Hall of Fame. If I might, just ask for you to, one more time, recognize both Mr. and Mrs. Adams for their, I don't think even clapping can show the debt of gratitude that we owe these people. So thank you so much. I could go on and on and on about Mr. and Mrs. Adams and have heard stories about their impact everywhere I go. And I don't think I can say the same thing about all people that I know, but I know for sure that the right decision was made with inducting Mr. and Mrs. Adams as the very first inductees in our Educator Hall of Fame, and I'm very proud to call them colleagues and comrades in education. On this first day of American Education Week, it is truly an honor to be on the same stage with two of the Newton County School System's most well-respected educators of all time. My goal in establishing an Educator Hall of Fame was to recognize teachers and leaders in our local public school system who have gone above and beyond to make a difference in the lives of their students. And I can think of no two people more deserving of being the first inductees into the Newton County School System's Educator Hall of Fame than Mr. Timothy K. Adams, Sr., and Miss Louise B. Adams. And again, let's give them a round of applause. We appreciate you, and we know that you celebrate Mr. and Mrs. Adams with us, as they are definitely icons in our community. Thank you, and have a good evening.